Welcome to Excel Magic Trick number 1130. Hey, if you want to download this workbook 1129 and 1132, click on the link below the video. Hey, 1128 all the way to 1131, we're doing aging of accounts receivable reports. We did an array formula. We did the table feature with Slicer. Now we want to see how to use advanced filter. Hey, here's our data set: customer, invoice amount, invoice date, and due date. We have to add an extra helper column. We'll call it days late. Control Enter, Control B. And we'll do a formula to take the later date minus the earlier date. Those are relative cell references. So when I Control Enter, double click and send it down, there are our days late. Now we're going to use advanced filter, but just like in the last few videos, we want to sort on the days late column. So I'm going to right click, sort, point to largest to smallest. That way when we extract, given earlier number of days late and a later number of days late, it will extract with the biggest on top. Now for advanced filter, we need field names. Notice both of these are exactly the same as the field name days late. The criteria area has to communicate with the database. Field name here has to be exactly the same as the field names over here. Our first criteria, greater than or equal to 1, tab. Our second criteria is less than or equal to 30. Notice we put the comparative operator and the numbers right in the cells. This is AND criteria. There are two fields, the same field name repeated. It has to go through all of these records, and only when it finds both greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 30 for that particular days late will it extract the record. Now I click in a single cell. We go to Data, Advanced, or we can use the keyboard Alt-A-Q. There's our dialog box. Filter and list. No, we want to copy these extracted records to a different location. The list range, it guessed right because we had a single cell selected in our data set. Our criteria range is going to be both field names and criteria below. Copy to, we're going to scroll up and we're going to put it in J1. Now I'm going to click OK, and instantly I have extracted all of the records where the days late are greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 30. Now I want to do some page setup, but I want to do it in a tricky way. So when we run advanced filter again, we just can hit Control P. Right now if I Control P, I see I have all sorts of stuff I don't want. I want to not include any of this. Now, I want to set the print area, but I don't know how tall this report's going to be. So I'm actually going to highlight columns J to N and then go up to Page Layout, Print Area, Set Print Area. Now if I Control P, Show Print Area, I can see that's got just that bit. This is page 1 of 1, so that's looking good, except for we would like to add a little bit more page setup. Page layout, I could click the dialog launcher for page setup or do Alt-PSP. We want portrait and fit to one page by, and I'm going to leave this empty by hitting delete. That allows us to print out, yes, one page wide, but as many pages tall as needed. Margins, I'm going to say horizontal. Header and footer, let's go to the built-in, and I love this one, page 1 of question mark. That allows us to do 1 of 2, 2 of 2, and it's dynamic. Right now it's page 1 of 1, but later there'll be more, so page 1 of 3, 2 of 3, etc. Now I want to further customize the footer, so I'm going to say custom footer. Here we'll say aging report, and here we will use our date. Now that code there for pages and for date are dynamic. That's hard coded in. Click OK. Now we have to go to Sheet. And notice print area says J to N, but we also want to repeat rows at top. So I click here, and we're going to need row 1. So I'm going to click on row 1. And the cool thing about this is the print area will not print out any of this, just the items from row 1 that are in our print area. Click OK. Now Control P. And there we have it. Escape. We would do Control P and print it, but now let's run Advanced Filter again with a different set of criteria. So I'm going to say greater than or equal to 31 and less than or equal to 60. Now I come over here and I'm going to use my keyboard, Alt-A-Q. Now I could click right here, copy, or I can do Alt-O. Oops, I hit Alt-0, Alt-O. That gives copy to another location. I could take my mouse and click there, but it's blue, so all I have to do is hit Enter. Now watch this. It will replace. And in earlier versions, and I don't know what version it changed in, like in 2003, if I had a smaller report, Advanced Filter would dump it here, but not remove the excess records below. But since about 2000, I know 2010 and 13 this works. Anytime you rerun Advanced Filter, it removes everything below. So it works on larger data sets or smaller data sets. Now watch this. When I click OK, instantly it's got the new report and it's sorted. Look at that. And there's a lot more records here. So when I Control P and click Show Print Area, there it is, page 1 of 3. Page 2 of 3, and the field names at the top are printing out. Escape. So that's a little bit about how to use Advanced Filter and Page Setup to create an aging report. The only one other thing we'd like to look at is the reason that Advanced Filter remembered all of the ranges is because up in Formulas, Name Manager, or Control F3, Criteria and Extractor define names that are created when you run Advanced Filter. All right, Advanced Filter to do an aging of accounts receivable reports. We'll see you next video.